For nearly 3 decades, Charles stole from Diana. Her titles, her legacy, her place in history, and William has been quietly writing down every single thing. Number 9 on this list, William already has the paperwork ready. He's not waiting for the throne. He's preparing for it. William was 15 when his mother died. He watched Charles give Diana's world to Camilla piece by piece. He never forgot. The reckoning is no longer a question of if, it's a question of when. These are 20 things Charles stole from Diana that William will take back, and Camilla is going to watch every single one leave her hands. Number 1, the Queen Consort title. Diana should have been queen. That was the promise when she walked down the aisle at St. Paul's Cathedral at 20 years old. She was told she would stand beside the King of England. Charles stole that future the moment he refused to let go of Camilla. Now Camilla wears the title Diana was promised. She sat in the coronation chair. She received the crown. She holds the position that was supposed to belong to the mother of the future king. William watched the coronation. He smiled for the cameras. He played the dutiful son. Camilla smiled too. She thought she had won. She was wrong. William controls what happens next. When he becomes king, he decides who keeps titles and who loses them. He decides how history remembers his father's reign. He decides whether Camilla remains Queen Dowager or becomes something far less. The title Charles stole is on William's list. Camilla knows it, and the clock is running out. Number 2, Diana's jewelry collection. Diana's jewelry was never just decoration. Each piece told a story. The sapphire engagement ring, the aquamarine ring she loved, the emeralds, the pearls, the Cambridge lover's knot tiara she wore so often. Charles allowed pieces meant for Diana to end up on Camilla's neck. Some jewelry went to William and Harry, but significant pieces remained in royal vaults, controlled by Charles, loaned to Camilla for state occasions. Every time Camilla appears draped in jewels that should have passed to Diana's daughters-in-law, the theft continues in plain sight. William knows which pieces Diana loved. He knows which ones she intended for Catherine. He knows exactly which ones Camilla has been wearing for years without any right to them. When William controls the royal collection, those pieces go exactly where Diana would have wanted them. And Camilla will have to hand them back, one by one, in front of everyone who watched her wear them. Number 3, the media narrative. For decades, Charles controlled the story. His team planted articles. His allies whispered to editors. His version became the official history. Diana was painted as unstable, difficult, paranoid. The palace briefed against her while she was alive and continued after she died. Charles stole Diana's ability to tell her own truth. William has watched this happen his entire adult life. He knows how the palace machinery works. When William leads the monarchy, the narrative changes. Diana's truth gets told by the institution that silenced her, and the world will finally hear her side. Number 4, Diana's HRH title. When Charles and Diana divorced, she lost her HRH status. She was no longer Her Royal Highness. She was Diana, Princess of Wales, a demotion disguised as a compromise. Diana wept when she learned the decision. She understood what it meant. She was being pushed out of the family she had given everything to join. Charles allowed this to happen. He could have insisted Diana keep her full title. He chose not to. William was 14 years old. He reportedly told his mother it did not matter, that he would give her the title back when he became king. Whether those exact words were spoken, the sentiment was real. William cannot restore Diana's HRH in life, but he can restore it in death. He can ensure every official reference, every memorial, every historical document reflects the dignity Charles stripped away. Number 5, Diana's charitable platform. Diana transformed royal charity work. She touched AIDS patients when the world was terrified. She walked through minefields. She held dying children. She made the monarchy matter. Charles allowed Camilla to inherit Diana's charitable territory. Camilla now champions causes Diana pioneered. The press covers Camilla's charity work as if she invented compassion. As if Diana never existed. William has ensured his mother's charitable DNA lives through him, not through his father's wife. When William leads the family, Diana's legacy gets credited properly, and Camilla's borrowed compassion gets returned to its rightful owner. Number 6, Kensington Palace. Kensington Palace was Diana's home. Apartments 8 and 9 were where she built her life after the separation, where she raised William and Harry, where she lived until the night she died. Charles redistributed Kensington Palace access within months of Diana's death. Diana's private spaces were reassigned. Her apartment was eventually given to William and Catherine, but only after years of other arrangements. William lives at Kensington Palace now. He walks the same corridors his mother walked. He is reclaiming the space Charles treated as real estate. When William has full authority, Kensington Palace becomes Diana's memorial. Her apartment, her gardens, her legacy, protected permanently. But here is what Charles did the night Diana died, what William has never forgotten. Number 7, Diana's place at royal events. This is what Charles gave Camilla before Diana's grave had settled. The night Diana died, Charles called one person for comfort. Not his mother, not his son's grandmother, Camilla. While William and Harry slept at Balmoral, not yet knowing their mother was gone, Charles was on the phone with the woman who had helped destroy their parents' marriage. Within 18 months, the rehabilitation began. Camilla appeared beside Charles at the Ritz Hotel in 1999. The carefully orchestrated photograph showed them leaving together. The message was clear. Diana's place was being filled. William watched this happen. He watched his father prioritize Camilla's integration over his son's grief. He watched the woman from the affair step into his mother's light before the mourning had ended. Charles stole Diana's place in royal life and gave it to Camilla, not immediately, but in a timeline that felt like betrayal to a grieving teenage boy William has never forgotten. The photographs from those early appearances, Camilla smiling at functions Diana should have attended, are burned into his memory. Every smile, every wave, every stolen moment. When William is king, Camilla's access changes. The events she attends, the position she holds, the prominence she enjoys, everything Charles rushed to give her gets stripped away, and she will feel exactly what Diana felt, pushed to the margins while someone else takes her place. Number 8, the royal family's support. Diana was isolated within the royal family long before the divorce. The Queen kept her distance. The household closed ranks around Charles. Diana fought alone. When Diana died, the family's coldness became visible to the world. The flag that would not fly at half-staff, the silence from Balmoral. William experienced that coldness as a child. He knows what the family did to his mother. As king, William rebuilds what the family broke. Diana's memory becomes central to the institution. The family that isolated her will be led by her son. But here is what William already has prepared. The restoration he has been planning in silence. Number 9, Diana's place in the Commonwealth. Diana was beloved across the Commonwealth. Her visits to Australia, Canada, Africa, and the Caribbean generated connection Charles could never match. She represented the monarchy's best face to the world. Charles gave that role to Camilla. He brought Camilla on Commonwealth tours. He positioned her as his partner in diplomacy. He asked former colonies to accept the woman who symbolized the monarchy's worst behavior. The Commonwealth has rejected the offering. Australia has debated leaving the monarchy. Caribbean nations are cutting ties. The institution Diana represented with grace is crumbling under Charles and Camilla's watch. This is not coincidence. This is consequence. William has the paperwork ready for a different approach. When he leads the Commonwealth, Diana's legacy leads with him. Her memory becomes the bridge Charles burned. Her name opens doors Camilla closed. The restoration is already planned. William is just waiting for the authority to execute it, and Camilla is watching the countdown with no way to stop it. But what Charles stole next cannot be measured in diplomacy or documents. It cuts deeper than any treaty. Number 10, Diana's time with her sons. Diana should have had decades more with William and Harry. She should have seen them graduate. seen them marry, held her grandchildren, grown old watching them become the men they were meant to be. Charles stole years from that timeline by making Diana's life unbearable. The affair, the public humiliation, the palace briefings, the isolation that left Diana vulnerable and desperate. Charles did not cause the crash in Paris, but he created the conditions that sent Diana running from the life she had built. William was 15 when his mother died. 15. He had less than 2 decades with the woman who loved him most in the world. Every year since has been a year stolen. Every milestone without her has been a wound that never heals. George will never know his grandmother. Charlotte will never feel her embrace. Louis will never hear her voice. This theft cannot be undone. No title can be restored. No jewelry can compensate. William lives with this loss every single day, and every single day he sees the woman his father chose instead sitting where his mother should have been. But he can ensure Diana's presence remains, in how he raises his children, in how he speaks about her, in how he refuses to let the institution forget what it cost. This is where the restoration becomes personal, because everything William does from here is for her. Number 11. Diana's memory in official history. Charles controlled how the palace recorded Diana's legacy, the official biographies, the archive access, the way her story was told. For years, Diana existed in palace history as a cautionary tale, the difficult princess, the problems she caused. Charles allowed this because it served his rehabilitation. If Diana was the problem, then Charles was the victim. William has access to the archives now. He knows what was written and what was suppressed. When William leads the institution, the archives open. Diana's truth, rewritten by her son. Number 12. Diana's relationship with the public. Diana had something no royal before or since has matched. Genuine connection. People did not admire her from a distance. They loved her. Charles watched that connection with jealousy. He could not replicate it. After Diana died, Charles brought Camilla forward as his own humanizing force. It has not worked. The public sees through it. They remember who Diana was. William inherited his mother's gift. He connects the way she connected. When he leads the monarchy, that connection defines the institution. Number 13. Diana's influence over the monarchy's future. Diana understood the monarchy needed to change. She pushed for modernization when the palace resisted. She showed what a royal could be in the modern age. Charles ignored everything Diana taught the institution. He reverted to tradition over connection. William carries Diana's instincts. He knows the monarchy survives through connection, not distance. When William leads, Diana's vision wins. The institution she tried to save gets saved by her son. But here is the honor Charles denied Diana. The dignity William will restore. Number 14, Diana's state funeral rites. Diana received a funeral, but not the funeral she deserved. It was not a full state funeral. It was a compromise that acknowledged her popularity while denying her full royal honors. Charles had a say in those decisions. He could have insisted on more. He accepted less. William has studied the protocols. He knows exactly what Diana received and what she was denied. When the time comes to memorialize Diana properly, William will ensure she receives everything Charles withheld: the honors, the recognition, the permanence. Diana's legacy will be inscribed in stone, not as a compromise, as a correction. Number 15. Diana's financial security. Diana fought for financial independence in the divorce. She received a settlement, but she should have received more. Charles negotiated against the mother of his children. He used palace lawyers to minimize what Diana received. Diana died before she could build the financial legacy she deserved. Her estate went to William and Harry, but it was smaller than what Camilla now enjoys. William cannot change what Diana received, but he can change what Camilla keeps: the allowances, the residences, the privileges, all under review when William holds the authority. Number 16. Diana's staff and allies. Diana's staff loved her. They were loyal beyond their job descriptions. They protected her when the palace attacked. Charles scattered Diana's people after she died. Staff who had served Diana found themselves reassigned or pushed out. William has quietly reconnected with people who served his mother. He has heard their stories. He knows what Diana wanted. When William builds his household as king, Diana's approach returns. Her warmth, her humanity. Number 17, Diana's fashion legacy. Diana transformed royal fashion. She made it modern, accessible, bold. She understood image in ways the palace never had. Charles allowed Camilla to be styled in Diana's shadow. Magazine profiles now compare Camilla's fashion to Diana's. It is an insult disguised as flattery. Catherine has reclaimed Diana's fashion legacy properly. She honors it without imitating it. She carries Diana's elegance into a new generation. When William leads the family, Catherine leads its image, and Diana's fashion legacy belongs to her heir, not her replacement. Number 18, Diana's voice. Diana found her voice in the Panorama interview. She told the truth the palace had suppressed for years. Charles spent decades trying to discredit that voice. He dismissed the interview as manipulation. He allowed allies to question her mental state. William expressed concern about the interview's circumstances, but he has never repudiated what his mother said. He has never claimed she lied. When William tells Diana's story, her voice leads, not the palace spin. Diana's words preserved by Diana's son. Number 19, Diana's rightful acknowledgement. Diana transformed the monarchy. She made it relevant to a generation that had lost interest. She showed what royal service could mean. She gave the institution its greatest asset. Charles has never fully acknowledged what Diana contributed. His statements about Diana are careful, measured, institutional. He praises her as a mother. He rarely credits her as a royal. He does not admit that everything good about the modern monarchy flows from what she built. William will give Diana the acknowledgement Charles withholds. Publicly, officially, permanently, Diana's contribution will be recorded in a king's own words, her son's words, the acknowledgement she deserved and never received. Number 20, everything Charles built for Camilla. This is the final restoration, the one that corrects everything. Charles spent 50 years building a life for Camilla inside the monarchy. The titles, the residences, the staff, the allowances, the seat at every state occasion. The crown on her head, every brick of that edifice was laid on Diana's grave. William has watched his father construct this monument to betrayal. He has smiled through ceremonies that honored the woman who destroyed his mother's marriage. He has stood beside Camilla at events where Diana should have been. He has bitten his tongue for nearly 3 decades. That silence was never acceptance. It was patience. It was strategy. It was a son waiting for the power his father could not deny him. When William becomes king, the construction reverses. The titles Charles gave can be reduced. The residences Charles secured can be reassigned. The privileges Charles guaranteed can be reconsidered. The position Charles demanded can be diminished. Camilla will watch it happen. She will watch everything she spent 40 years climbing towards slip through her fingers. She will feel exactly what Diana felt, discarded by the institution she gave everything to join. William cannot erase what Charles built, but he can dismantle it. Publicly, legally, permanently. Diana's son will take back everything his father stole, not for revenge, for justice. For the mother who never got to see her grandchildren, for the woman who deserved a crown and got a coffin instead. You waited nearly 3 decades for this reckoning. William waited with you. For nearly 3 decades, Charles took from Diana her titles, her jewelry, her home, her place in history, her time with her sons, her voice, her legacy, her future. William wrote it all down. Every theft, every betrayal, every piece of his mother's world that ended up in Camilla's hands. You always knew this day would come. You never stopped believing Diana would win in the end. 20 things stolen, 20 things marked for return. One son patient enough to wait for the power to restore what was taken. Everything Charles stole is now on William's list, and the day of restoration is closer than Camilla wants to believe. But there is something William has that makes this restoration inevitable. Constitutional authority Charles cannot block. Click right here. For 20 powers Charles handed William that erase Camilla's entire future.